We interrupt this broadcast for a special bulletin, and we have breaking news coming in. India and Pakistan are all set to war between two nations. What is the significance of this? You may ask, why now? And more importantly, what does this mean for the countless lives that have been lost in this war? Let me explain. For the last 7 days, the region has been witnessing one of the most high-octane conflicts in recent times. The so-called peace in Jammu and Kashmir has been blown to smithereens. The tranquility of Ladakh has been decimated. Thousands of families have been torn apart, and who knows how many widows and orphans created in this mayhem. What began with a suicide attack on Indian forces in Jammu and Kashmir spiraled into a full-blown war in just a matter of days. It's time now to rewind and tell you how it all happened. This is our special correspondent Arun Kumar bringing you the story of the India-Pakistan War of 2025. It's February 14, 2025, a sunny Saturday morning in Jammu and Kashmir. The Indian Army is celebrating Valentine's Day with a community feast at their camp in Jammu and Kashmir Sunjuan area. Suddenly, amidst the merriment, an explosion rocks the camp. The army suspects a gas cylinder leak, but within seconds, a second blast occurs, followed by a third. The attackers have struck again. Soon the death toll is revised upwards. It's a massive attack, and 45 Indian soldiers have lost their lives. Even the Chief of Army Staff General Manoj Mukund Naravan rushes to the site. Clearly, this is not your ordinary terror attack. The gravity of the situation is evident. In the aftermath, India blames Jaish-e-Mohammed, a militant group based in Pakistan, for the attack. Pakistan denies its involvement and calls for an impartial probe. India slams the door on such talks. New Delhi says the attack was premeditated and carried out with Pakistani support. India's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi hits out at Islamabad. Pakistan must immediately end support to terror groups. Tensions are palpable. Diplomatic niceties have been thrown out of the window. India, the world's largest democracy, and Pakistan, the so-called Islamic welfare state, is staring at each other warily, but no one expects what happens next. On February 16th, India conducts a targeted airstrike. Apparently it's a response to the Sunjuan attack. Indian Air Force jets enter Pakistan airspace and strike what India claims is a militant training facility in Pakistan. The strike reportedly destroys the facility and kills Jaish-e-Mohammed operatives inside. Pakistan responds with outrage. Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari condemns the attack as a violation of Pakistan's sovereignty and international law, but he saves his harshest words for India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, calling him a war criminal. What unfolds next is nothing short of déjà vu. Within 2 days, Pakistan retaliates with airstrikes of its own. Early on February 18th, Pakistan Air Force jets hit Indian military positions near the line of control, or LOA. Thankfully, there are no immediate reports of casualties. India hits back, and very soon the entire region is bracing for a showdown. Military buildup is underway on both sides. Troops are being moved to forward locations. Tanks are being deployed near the log. Guns are being positioned along the border fence. The Indian Army releases a statement. Indian armed forces are fully tuned to give a befitting response. Should there be any further misadventure, Pakistan says it will respond to any Indian aggression with an eye for an eye. Social media platforms are rife with threats and counter. In India, hashtags like #IndianArmy trend alongside appeals for peace. In Pakistan, the narrative is dominated by calls for jihad and martyrdom. It's a virtual war within a war. By February 20th, things have escalated. Major General Asif Ghafoor, the Director General of the Inter-Services Public Relations (ORISPR for short), warns India of reprisals if it does not halt alleged human rights violations in Jammu and Kashmir. India responds through another terse statement, this time from the Ministry of Defense. It says Pakistan has continued targeting of security forces and terrorist provocations along the LOC, indicate its hostile intent. As diplomatic efforts fail, the people in the region brace for impact. By February 21st, India and Pakistan are at war. And this is not your ordinary conflict. In fact, it's being fought on multiple fronts. In Jammu and Kashmir, intermittent firing and shelling along the LOC were reported since February 22nd. Then came reports of heavy exchange of artillery fire. Pakistan also claimed to have targeted Indian posts in sea. According to Pakistan's claim, they destroyed several Indian bunkers near the LOC. By February 23rd, the war had spread to Russia. Both sides claimed to have shot down enemy planes after fierce dogfights over the disputed territory. Reports say Pakistan has deployed drones to spy on Indian positions. And India is not sitting idle. It's learned that Indian forces have used Israeli anti-drone technology to counter them. In fact, a video of the same went viral. It appears to show the moment when the system identifies the Pakistani drone and takes it down. Perhaps this is the first time in the history of warfare when two South Asian rivals are using drones for military reconnaissance. If true, it makes the ongoing war a hybrid conflict. Like the war in Ukraine, it is a combination of kinetic and non-kinetic warfare. While tanks and missiles fly across the border, so do cyber attacks and fake news. Meanwhile, global powers are watching closely. World leaders are making urgent calls to New Delhi and we are talking about the United States, China, Russia, and the United Kingdom. They want the two countries to end hostilities immediately. The United Nations Security Council holds an emergency meeting. It's been more than 2 days since India and Pakistan last spoke. Military officials are in touch, but their calls are not yielding results. Instead, the fighting continues unabated. The casualty figures are climbing by the hour, and so is the stockpile of hatred between the two nations. Reports say Indian Air Force jets have bombed a bridge near Rawalakot in Pakistan-administered Kashmir. It is a major blow to Pakistan's logistics. There are reports of casualties as well. On February 26th, the war reaches its crescendo. It's been 7 days since hostilities began. 7 days of heavy shelling, rocket attacks, and aerial dogs. On this day, reports emerge of fighting on the ground. Apparently, Pakistani troops infiltrated Indian positions near the Lok. An intense battle ensues, and India claims to have killed at least 30 infiltrators. 1 Indian soldier is killed in the process. The Indian army shares the news with a picture. It shows the body of an infiltrator lying near the Lok. His face has been blackened to respect his last rites. This is the closest India has come to declaring a full-blown war. Yet Pakistan has matched every Indian move. In the last 7 days, it has demonstrated remarkable resilience. Will the fighting intensify further? Fortunately, it does not. And that's because on February 27th, India and Pakistan agreed to a ceasefire. The development comes as a huge relief. Surely it's better late than never, but it still raises a lot of questions. Who brokered the deal? How did the talks take place? And most importantly, what happens next? Well, let's address these questions one by one. The immediate talks were brokered by Egypt and Saudi Arabia. Both countries made separate appeals to India and Pakistan. Their foreign ministers reached out to New Delhi and finally by February 27th, something positive emerged. Senior officials from India, Pakistan, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia met in Jeddah. The talks lasted for hours. And then came the announcement. India and Pakistan agreed to a temporary suspension of hostilities along the Lok. They also agreed to start talks to restore the 2003 ceasefire. The two countries decided to release prisoners of war and those detained on either side of the border. Surely a positive step. As for what happens next, that remains to be seen. Many experts are cautiously optimistic. They point towards the evolving political equations in South Asia. Some experts even blame outside factors for what transpired. They say it was the neglected peace process that pushed India and Pakistan to the brink. And perhaps that is the biggest lesson from the war of 2025. The 7-day war left behind a legacy of heightened military readiness and mistrust. It also reinforced the need for long-term peace and diplomacy. Only time will tell if India and Pakistan can rise up to the challenge. This has been our special correspondent Arun Kumar filing this report from the 2025 India-Pakistan war.